Hi and Assalamualaikum. For today's presentation, I would like to share the review of financial report of a customized furniture business. This is a registered business under Suruhanjaya Syarikat Malaysia, or known as SSM. Without further ado, let me introduce my team member of this presentation of case study. Myself is Muhamad Rizuan bin Hasim as presenter number 1, and my colleague Zabidin Harun for presenter number 2, and the last but not least Muhammad Fakhir bin Suhaimi as presenter number 3. Okay, let's move on to the background of the business. We have selected ZF Furniture Enterprise as our project for this case study, which is to review their financial report. It is a partnership business. The business is located at Desa Solehah, Kampung Mak Cili, Kemaman, Terengganu. ZF Furniture Enterprise use their own source for the business capital. The main activity for this business is customizing furniture. The furniture is made upon client demand, be it for the house, an office, a convenience mart, or any place that need their service for customizing furniture. Okay, as I mentioned earlier on the SSM registration, this business is registered under SSM. Now, let me introduce to you the owner of this business. ZF Furniture Enterprise are owned by two generous people. It is Fadila Binti Hasim and Mr. Zaina bin Ismail. The address of this location is 13561G Jalan Bukit Takal, Desa Solehah, Mak Cili, Kemaman, Terengganu. As you can see in the slide, their workshop is located opposite with DIY Mak Cili, Kemaman, Terengganu. You may wonder how does the process flow of this furniture business, right? First, as you can see from the slide, the order or demand usually come from walk-in client or by appointment client. Then, the staff will attend the client by taking their detail, furniture type, dimension, measurement, and the type of material. After acknowledge the client needs, they then will order the raw material from their supplier. Once the material arrive, they will proceed with the process of making the furniture as a request. And lastly, they will deliver the finishing product to their client once it's complete.
Okay, Assalamualaikum and a very good day. So, we would like to discuss about ZF Furniture Enterprise business characteristic. ZF Furniture Enterprise is a partnership or company operated by two persons who makes all the decisions. These two persons, which Madam Nur Fadila Binti Hasim and Mr. Zainal bin Ismail, takes on all the risks and oversee the entire of their business. They is responsible for everything related to their company. Their company registered with Suruhanjaya Syarikat Malaysia SSM as a partnership. The capital was contributed by them, which invested about 4,000 ringgit Malaysia in establishing this business. Okay, why will we register the business with SSM? Okay, first one is can conduct business legally. Many people aspire to start their own business, but succeeding in the commercial marketplace is easier said than done. Companies led by inexperienced people unfamiliar with the legal requirement. They need to fulfill the particularly susceptible to failure. Nevertheless, many business owners jump into the competitive marketplace without doing enough research when it comes to covering their legal bases. Okay. Second is will boost the confidence of customer on the products promoted. The third one, make it easier for users to check on business information that will build trust and help more. Fourth, the presented business details will help the government for supporting the development of business community and prospect. And the last one, and the most important thing, only a registered business is allowed to apply for a Malaysia gateway. Okay, next we go to the topic, what is business partnership? A business partnership is a legal relationship that is most often formed by a written agreement by two or more individuals or companies. The partners invest their money in the business, and each partner benefits from any profits and sustain part of any losses. The partnership as a business often must register with all assets, all states where it does business. Each state may have several different kinds of partnership that can form, so it's really important to know the possibilities before we register. Some partnership includes individuals who work in the business, while other partnership may include partners who have limited participation and also limited liability for the business debts and any lawsuits filed against it. Okay, next we go to management and control. Management control describes the means by which the action of individuals or group within an organization are constrained to perform certain action while avoiding others' action in an effort to achieve organizational goals. Control management system is working if it first assists in achieving organizational goals. Second, can minimize errors. Third, utilize and distribute resources effectively. Fourth, evaluate the accuracy of standards. Fifth, instill discipline and order. Sixth, motivates employees and boosts morale. 7. Ensure future planning by revising standards. And the last one is improve overall organizational performance. So next we go to the capital. What is capital? Capital is a broad term that describes anything that confers value or benefit to its owner, such as workshop and its machinery, intellectual property like patents, or the financial asset of a business or an individual. While money itself may be construed as capital, capital is more often associated with cash that is being put to work for productive or investment purpose. In general, capital is a critical component of running a business from day to day and financing its future growth. Business capital may derive from the operation of the business or be raised from debt or equity financing. Common sources of capital include personal saving, friends and family, private loans, corporation, and angel investor. Asset. What is an asset? An asset is anything of value or a resource of value that can be converted into cash. Individuals, companies, and government own assets. For a company, an asset might generate revenue, or a company might benefit in some way from owning or using the assets. Personal assets. Personal assets are things of present or future value owned by an individual or household. Business asset are things of value that sustain production and growth. For a business, asset can include machineries, property, raw materials, and inventory. Current assets. Current assets are that can be converted into cash within the operating cycle. Current assets are used to facilitate day-to-day operational expenses and investment. Okay, fixed assets. Fixed assets are long-term assets or non-current assets. Tangible fixed assets are those assets with a physical substance and are recorded on the balance sheet and listed as property, plant, and equipment. Intangible fixed assets are those long-term assets without a physical substance. For example, license, brand names, and copyrights. So the last one is business characteristic is profit or loss. Profit or loss is the financial statement that outlines a company's revenue, costs, and expenses over a specified period of time. In this case, they was facing net loss which reported in their financial statement as of 31st December 2022 due to job work cancellation.
Assalamualaikum to our madam and our colleges. My name is Muhamad Fakhir bin Suhaimi. I am the third presenter of our group. I will explain about the recording process of the business. There are seven steps to recording the process of the business. The first step is business transaction. There are many transactions in accounting cycle as they provide different type of physio service. The business transaction need to properly recorded on company book, as our company which is ZF Furniture Enterprise show us one step ahead by using e-wallet, and you'll be assistant to recording the business transaction. They usually have two ways to clarifying the business transaction, such as cash and credit transaction. The second for the recording process of the business is source of document. Every transaction will be tracked by paper trail as source of document. Check written to be paid, receipt are generated as the proof when the sale happen, billing invoice are provided by the supplier, timesheet are the proof of the working hour of workers. Source of document are the most important to the bookkeeping and accounting because they are the physical evidence of the transaction. The source of document is also important for the auditing. The auditor need to trace all the evidence for auditor to reconfirm the accuracy of the company transaction. The third process for the recording process of the business is journal. Journal is a book, paper, and electronic where the transactions are recorded, and the journal are also known as book original entries. Transaction usually recorded using double entries bookkeeping. They usually recorded in journal entries under at least two accounts. They usually have special journal and general journal. The fourth of the recording process of the business is ledger. Ledger, also known as the final entries. The ledger is a collection of account and show the changes made to each account. The ledger is also show the current balance. Fifth is trial balance. The trial balance is prepared to test the equality of the debit and credit. All account balance are extracted from the ledger and arranged in one report. If they have a mistake, the correcting entries are made to reverse the effect. The purpose of trial balance is to test the equality of total debit and total credit. The common mistake in trial balance is failure to record a transaction and double entries the transactions. Six is adjustment. Adjustment come in two ways, which is adjusting entries and adjusting trial balance. Adjusting entries are prepared as application of the accrual concept of accounting, and the adjusting trial balance are prepared after adjusting entries are made and before the financial statement are made. So the final step for the recording process of the business is financial statement. Financial statement happen when all the account are already updated and debit and credit are already been tested. The financial statement can be finally prepared when debit and credit are tested. The financial statement of the end step, recording process of the business. The financial statement is statement of comprehensive income, statement of changes in equity, statement of financial position or balance sheet, statement of cash flow, and the lastly is note to financial statement. Next, I will present about the strength of the company. Strength of the company is when they doing the promotion via the media social and using the technologies nowadays. The company also got a strategic place which can ensure the customer to easily come to the company. The company also have a clear picture of cash flow, and they also have a accounting process which can be a legal proof to the transaction. Also, the transaction that been record in this company are also been tested and can prevent the fraud. Lastly, I will present about the weakness of the company. There are two weaknesses in this company, which is when we have a mistake in our transaction recorded or our transaction counting, the chance to the manipulation of record or fraud can easily be high. So we need to be more careful in recording the process and in doing the financial statement. The second one is the difficulties to trace the customer payment via digital payment. In our company, which ZF Furniture Enterprise, we have payment via cash, we have a debit card and credit card, and lastly we are the e-wallet. Each of these transaction has their own statement provided by the bank or by the provider. So for e-wallet, it is very difficult because we are late to get the statement from the provider. So that's all for my presentation. Thank you and Assalamualaikum.